Although, like many people, I grew up watching Winnie-the-Pooh, adoring Winnie-the-Pooh. I never saw the Heffalump movie. It was released in 2005. I was 13. I figured I was maybe too mature for Winnie-the-Pooh, which is absolutely not the case. However, if it's on Disney Plus, I thought I'd better finally watch it. And I'm so impressed with it. It's a family film, which, when you have a show like Winnie the Pooh, often the films that come from it can be mainly aimed at children. But this is something that I think you can sit down with a child or by yourself, as I did, and genuinely enjoy it. The attention to detail is incredible. I won't spoil anything, but I will say just within the first 2 minutes, it's just something that made me smile. Piglet runs out of the house, and on the washing line, there are little stripy outfits of whatever Piglet wears. I don't know what you would call it. It's not really a t-shirt, but Piglet's stripy costume. There are just several of them on the washing line. The attention to detail throughout is amazing. This is directed by Frank Nissen, written by Brian Hohlfeld and Evan Spiliotopoulos, and it's got a brilliant voice cast, which we'll look at in a moment. But obviously the most important thing are the Heffalumps. And this is not what I thought a Heffalump was. And I guess that's kind of the main point of the story. I'll read the description from IMDb, which basically sums it up really nicely. And this says, when Roo sets off on his own into the 100-acre wood, he discovers a friendly and playful Heffalump named Lumpy. And I was quite surprised to find that this is Roo-centric, because we have the film Springtime with Roo. We have Springtime with Roo, the Tigger movie, Piglet's Big Movie. So I didn't think that Roo would be the central character here. But he is, and he is so adorable. And I love him. And the film is all about not, just because somebody is different, it doesn't mean they need to be feared. Obviously, the gang, Winnie-the-Pooh, Eeyore, Rabbit, Tigger, they're all scared of the Heffalumps in the forest because they're different. And these Heffalumps, if you don't know, are basically just elephants. They're purple elephants with fuzzy tails, and they're very cute, but they're scared of them because they're different. And the film is all about, I guess, giving somebody a chance to get to know them, and just because you're different to somebody, it doesn't mean that you should be feared. And it's obviously a very lovely message that's very, well, I guess to the adult mind, it's very in your face and blatant, but maybe for a child, the message is more subtle, and it's just something they'll pick up. But obviously it's really important that it had a very strong message. Definitely does. And I guess it's correct, because I thought that Heffalumps, based on the Heffalumps and Wurzels song, I thought they were quite scary things. I didn't realise that that wasn't the case until I watched this. So again, I judged the Heffalumps before I met one. Just goes to show that you shouldn't do that. It's adorable. As I said, the attention to detail is beautiful. We have some lovely facial expressions. The characters are all true to who they are. Eeyore wasn't in it too much. We didn't get too much of Eeyore. Rabbit was his usual annoying self, but, I love to hate Rabbit. Piglet and Pooh Bear were particularly adorable, but Roo obviously stole the show. Roo is voiced by Nikita Hopkins. We obviously have Jim Cummings as Winnie-the-Pooh and Tigger, as always. Jason Fiedler as Piglet, and Kath Soucie as Kanga, Ken Sansom as Rabbit, Peter Cullen as Eeyore, and Brenda Blethyn as Mama Heffalump. Then we have Kyle Stanger, who voices Lumpy. Fabulous, absolutely fantastic. I believe at the time, Stanger, I beg your pardon, I believe he was 8, maybe 7 or 8. Fantastic voice acting. Really brilliant. It's a shame he's not gone on to do too much according to IMDb. Really enjoyed that vocal performance. Honestly, I didn't think I'd enjoy this as much as I did, because there's no nostalgia. If I now watch the Tigger movie or Piglet's Big Movie, there's that nostalgic element. It takes me back to my childhood. This one, yes, it does in a tiny way, because obviously the characters are emblems of my childhood. But the narrative didn't mean anything to me. But when watching it, I enjoyed it. The soundtrack isn't as great as I thought it would be. It's good. There are some good songs. 1, maybe 2 are memorable, but it's not the best soundtrack ever. But I wasn't looking for that from this. To be honest, I didn't think there'd be more than one song in it other than the one song that I'd already heard. So I'm not complaining at all. It's a lovely, fun film, rated Universal. I really think it's great fun for the full family. It does get quite dark at one point. It needs to be to get the message across. I really like it. If you haven't seen it and you liked Winnie-the-Pooh, watch it, because it's beautiful. It's a lot of fun. Ultimately, it's just adorable. It's a lovely, adorable story with beautiful animation, great attention to detail, wonderful voice acting, and a really important message for children.